Welcome back to Surviving and Thriving, where we share with you the things that we have learned as we have transitioned our family from struggling to survive disease to thriving, right smack dab in the midst of it, in the hopes that something that we share with you will help you, enlighten you, and encourage you as you transition your family from struggling to survive disease to thriving, right smack dab in the midst of it. Well, have I got something I want to share with you today? And that's exactly what I want to do. I just want to share. Give you a little insight into something that I've experienced over the years and where I'm at with it, and hopefully a little insight into what I've experienced will help you in your walk, so that you can either bypass some things or just be aware when it comes. So maybe it can help you along your walk. Okay. So if you don't know, let me make sure you do know. Okay, I've been going through and overcoming health challenges, sickness, and disease for a lot of years, and a lot of those years were in a critical state, fighting for my life. A lot of that was being bedridden. A lot of that was being conscious and unconscious. It was just many years of suffering. And in those years, there were ups and downs. There's times where I was bedridden. I lacked energy. I lacked the ability to walk. I lacked mobility. I just lacked, and I was fighting to stay here on the earth. And then there were times where things got better in the sense that I was able to regain strength, relearn how to walk, and I've done that 3 times. So I've been through a lot. Okay, I know all about bed sores. I know all about not being able to sit up because you're so weak and passing out just from trying to sit up in a chair. So I've been through a lot, and what I've learned and what I want to share and what I've experienced in that is this: going up and then going down, and then working hard to get back up, then for whatever reason going down, then working hard to regain what you've already done multiple times over and over again. It can wear on you. It can get tiring, and it can get harder and harder to do it. Not necessarily because the physical aspect of it is hard. It's the same process, right? But because the mental and emotional and even spiritual aspect of it gets harder, it gets weighty. It gets weighty. And so having been up 3 years now, not in a critical state, rehabbing still these 3 years to gain strength, ability, mobility, right? To be able to have movement, to have endurance, to have flexibility. Because when you've been bedridden for a real long time, you gotta strengthen those ligaments and the muscles again and regain strength. And you lose a lot of flexibility. So having to do all of that these 3 years. So I've been up. I haven't been in a 911 situation, but it's been a process of rehabbing on the physical side, as well as still dealing with all the different things that I have to deal with on the health side of it, right? And in these 3 years, there's been ups and downs. Not as drastic, but in the 3 years, there's been, accidents, incidents where then you have to wait and not be able to exercise. There's the roller coaster of energy, the roller coaster of strength, the roller coasters of different episodes of things that go on. And so sometimes, I may not be able to do the rehab and the things that I need to do for about a week, or sometimes 2 weeks, or even sometimes longer. What I found in this is that you can put in a lot of work. I mean, a lot of work, and go through a lot of pain. And you can really stretch yourself to get to a place where you're like, yeah, I'm feeling stronger. I'm seeing the goals that I'm going for being reached. And you can feel so strong that you think you're in a place where you can't go back. But a week off, 2 weeks off, anything longer than that, most definitely, it's going to affect you. It has an effect and it sets you back. And that's a little frustrating for me because, you work really hard year after year, day after day, right? Month after month, week after week. And you work really hard. And sometimes it's not something that's going on with your body. Sometimes you just want a break. And to know that if you take the smallest amount of break, when you get back up, it's like starting all over again. Not so much in the sense of starting all over again from point zero all the time, as far as being so weak after being bedridden, can't sit up. But for example, if you run on a daily basis, right? Or so many times a week, if you don't run for a week, and when you were running, you can say run for 20 minutes. You don't run for a week, it's like building yourself back up. To get 5 minutes in is a struggle, right? And then you have to build your self back up to 7 minutes, back up to 15 minutes. That you can put in so much work to get to a certain place, and like that, it can set you back. And you have to start that process of building yourself back up. Sometimes the process of building yourself back up doesn't take as long as the original to get you there, depending upon how long that break was. So that's something you need to be aware of, because it can be, number one, frustrating and disappointing. And doing that so many times after so long, you get battle worn. And sometimes you have to deal and fight with the thoughts of settling. This is good enough. Do I really, where I'm at right now is good enough. I'm better than this, I'm better than that. So, hey, I'm able to do these things not the way I want to. So maybe you should just settle. And settling, to me personally, is unacceptable, right? So I just want to share with you with that, because we want to stop the ups and downs as much as we can, right? As far as it can be in our control, we want to be able to stop that. And so, having dealt with this through different stages, different phases over these many years, I've come to the conclusion that, number one, it's hard, right, to keep going through that and having the wherewithal to pick yourself back up and to go through that hard battle to get to where you need to get to. And number two is this: I want to play them games no more. And what I mean by that is I've reached a place in my life where I don't need to be fooling around with old stuff anymore. That the things that I stressed over, the things that were a hardship for me before, I'm not trying to deal with those things again. That if I put in the effort to get to a place, I'm not trying to regress so that I have to put in that same amount of effort to get back to a place I already was. It's time to move forward to other levels in life and to accomplish some of these things for certain that I want. Another thing that I've learned from this, the third thing would be this, is that it's not a goal-oriented thing. My eating, my exercise, the things that I do for life, this is not goal-oriented. Where if I reach this goal, then I can slack up a little bit. If I reach this goal, I don't have to put in as much effort as I've been putting in. I can ease up a little bit. I can take a day off or two. What I'm finding out over and over again is it's not goal oriented. This is called a lifestyle change. That I have to learn how to juggle all the things that I need and want to juggle in life while maintaining the things that I have to do to keep my body strong. In my eating, in my lifestyle, what I drink, what I sleep, what I exercise, what I do, right? So that's a big thing to just be aware of that, because I'm at a place where I'm not cycling around no more, right? Especially if it's something within my control. It's kind of like if you go on a diet, you work out, you start seeing muscles come, you start feeling good about yourself, and then you kind of binge eat for a week and you slack off on your diet, slack off on your exercise, and then you look up and you see all that flab and them love handles coming back, right? And you know that the only reason why it came back is because you chose to slack up. That kind of stuff I'm not doing anymore, where it's a cycling around because of the choices and the decisions that I made. So that's where I am at with that. There's one more thing I wanted to tell you, but it'll come back to me. So I just want you to be aware that those are the things that you will deal with and that you will have to face and make decisions on how you plan to overcome that and how you plan to get out of it. But I just want you to be aware that you can put in a lot of work to get to where you need to get to. But other people may be able to put in a lot of work to, say, lose weight, gain muscle, and then they can cut back and go into a maintaining mode. That may be. I may not have just gotten to a place where I can cut back and go into a maintaining mode. Maybe when I think I'm really, 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 really strong, I still got a ways to go. That could be possible. But at this point, after all these many, many years of going through, what I found is that you have to put in that same level of work always. This is the conclusion that I've been coming up with, is that there is no just rest and cut back to maintain until maybe perhaps I'm all the way out. But while I'm still coming through and coming out, right, going through and coming out, I have to maintain, which means that I have to balance out my life so that I'm not going so hard in some seasons, and then in other seasons I'm trying to recover from going hard. Got to find a place of level. So I just want to share that with you. Now, child, let me tell you something. What you do with it is up to you. But I hope something in there was helpful for you, just to give you a little insight into someone's life who's been dealing with this for a long time. Okay? I hope something in there was helpful for you. Remember, in all things, at all times, do you, be you. Until next time. Bye.